Thanksgiving is coming up, and you know what that means. Turkey, pumpkin pie, and heated political debates with your relatives. Hope the family doesn't completely fall apart as they argue about geopolitics and bring up new conspiracy theories you've never even heard of. I'm lucky enough that that doesn't really happen in my family, but it is happening over at the Daily Wire. I'm getting ahead of myself. Elon Musk signal boosted the Great Replacement theory again, and the online right all fell in line behind him this time. Let's talk about it. For those unfamiliar, the Great Replacement is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that there's a deliberate plot by Jews to import non-white people into white countries to extinguish the white population. Between 2018 and 2022, 4 mass shooters explicitly referenced the Great Replacement in their manifestos. Last year, Tucker Carlson promoted the theory by name on what was the most watched cable news show in the history of television.
You've heard a lot about the Great Replacement theory recently. It's everywhere in the last 2 days, and we're still not sure exactly what it is. This policy is called the Great Replacement, the replacement of legacy Americans with more obedient people from faraway countries. Replace the population, get a different outcome. You're being replaced, and there's nothing you can do about it. So shut up! We can't replace them! These people are lunatics.
This led to a surge in Google searches about it, which is very cool. Anyway, a couple days ago, a PSA was posted to Twitter captioned, "To the cowards hiding behind the anonymity of the internet and posting 'Hitler was right,' you got something you want to say? Why don't you say it to our faces?" And then another account replied, "Okay, you want the truth? Jewish communities have been stoking hatred against white people and supporting hordes of minorities flooding into the country for years. I have no sympathy for them experiencing anti-Semitism." In classic Elon Musk not actually saying anything in the replies fashion, he replied, "You have said the actual truth." Later following up with, "The ADL, which is a dog whistle for Jewish people, is constantly attacking the West, dog whistle for white people, because they cannot by their own tenets criticize the minority groups who are their primary threat." So Jews are stoking hatred, flooding minorities into the country, and using anti-Semitism as a smokescreen to distract from the real threat, which is, of course, brown people. Prominent figures on the online right were horrified by this blatant display of bigotry and immediately jumped to disavow this kind of rhetoric. I'm just kidding.
Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week. The philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country.
Where were you the last 10 years when they were calling for white genocide? You were allowing this. And then I found myself really hating those people, actually.
Where were you as we have endured all of this?
You were paying for it, actually.
Right.
You were paying for it.
And
so why shouldn't I be mad at you? I don't understand.
We have a ton of white people that are asking this question, and they're now being called anti-Semitic.
For context, they're talking about how some Jewish donors have pulled funding from universities where pro-Palestine protests took place. But to be clear, this is not about Israel-Palestine. It's not about Israel-Palestine to these people. I've given my opinions on that situation elsewhere. That's not what this video is about. This is about how the far right has co-opted that conflict to spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. The stuff these people are saying now is just a part of a long-standing piece-by-piece reconstruction of Nazi Jewish question rhetoric through increasingly transparent euphemism. For more on the resemblances between then and now, you can watch this video. You can literally see in Google Trends like every euphemism that they've tried. In 2018, there was cultural Marxism, which is just a rework of cultural Bolshevism, the Nazi theory that Jewish Bolsheviks were infiltrating German culture and corrupting it with their Jewishness. In 2019, it was the ADL, and then it was George Soros. Look at this. George Soros has been an influential figure for more than twice my lifetime, but out of nowhere, in 2020, every mainstream conservative starts going, "Oh, well, Soros did this. Soros did this."
Listening to his master, George Soros.
Why does George Soros get away with everything he's doing?
Our new Soros-inspired justice system.
Soros-funded judges.
All of those left-wing Soros-funded prosecutors.
A Soros prosecutor.
George Soros-funded judge.
Don't even get me started on the Tucker Carlson Soros documentary.
George Soros is a billionaire currency trader who has spent decades waging a kind of war, political, social, and demographic war on the West.
And then in 2022, we get the Great Replacement, talk of how the demographics of this country are being changed. Not just changing, being changed. And now we're here. The euphemisms are falling to the wayside. It's no longer cultural Marxism. It's no longer the ADL or globalists or Soros or even the Great Replacement. It's right-wing figures just going, "Hey, the Jews sure are anti-white, aren't they?" The masks are coming off, and it's leading to a schism in the party. On one hand, we have fascists who are fascist largely for popularity's sake, but still adhere to some form of civility and governance. And on the other, Hitler particles. Here's Elon Musk reinforcing the idea that white people have been brainwashed to believe their race is inferior to other races. Citation fucking needed.
We have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Copperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful.
Can we get that full list we've compiled of Jews? I'm sorry. Okay. When a euphemism stops being used, it's typically a harbinger of some bad stuff to come for the people the euphemism referred to. I talked a few months ago about how Nazi talking points are increasingly pervasive in current rhetoric.
They started small, blaming the country's economic woes on a perceived social outgroup, and then denouncing this group as a danger to the national culture, and then regularly reporting on their crimes despite them actually having a lower crime rate than the rest of the population, and then reporting that crime rates were up when they were actually down, and then ordering studies to prove all these claims that they were making, and then rejecting the studies when they came back showing the opposite.
There's been a lot of discourse online about this whole Twitter thing that's going on, and a lot of people saying that it's a good thing because the mask is coming off and the general public is going to realize how crazy these people are. I'm a little more trepidatious because I kind of feel like they've been laying this groundwork for like several years now, and the right historically is very good at just like falling in line behind their leaders. I guess the question is, did they take the mask off too early, or did they take the mask off when the time was right? The good and funny news is that Twitter is bleeding advertisers again, which kind of reinforces the idea that the general public still doesn't take kindly to Nazis. So that's promising. In response, Elon Musk posted a threat of a thermonuclear lawsuit where he affirms that the ads were being shown under Nazi posts, which is what he's trying to say wasn't happening, and also says that the Nazi posts don't violate his terms of service and he won't be doing anything about them. So glad to know he's got his top legal team on this. I do think one of the best things you can do to ingratiate yourself with your advertisers is to implicate them all in a legacy media conspiracy and then accuse them of being deceived by Media Matters when they make the decision to not run ads on your platform. I think that's a good way of getting them back, but that's a whole other can of worms. Side note, if Jews really are pulling all the strings with all their money and power, why is Elon Musk the richest man in the world? Is he in cahoots with them? Is he paying them off? Is he secretly a Jew? I shouldn't say that because I'm sure there are 8chan threads saying that he is. Anyway, I hope this all alienates the base. I really do. I guess we'll see. The right has been barreling toward fascism for several years now. We need a great replacement of that damn party, all right? Here's to the continued war between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, and her probably continuing to go and whine in Tucker Carlson's weird little elf house set. Yeah, thanks.